But it is dark upstairs and I am frightened of the dark. Will anyone go with me?
I will. No, thank you.
Clue, a movie from 1985 directed by Jonathan Lynn and starring a whole bunch of people: Tim Curry, Leslie Ann Warren, Colleen Camp, Michael McKean, Christopher Lloyd, Leslie Ann Warren, I think I said her already, bunch of people. And this movie is probably a movie that everybody has seen, but it didn't do well like at the box office. Like when it first came out, I think it didn't gain as much of a cult following as it does today. And of course, Clue, it's based off of the old board game, and it's like a mystery whodunit kind of a movie, which I love. Anyway, the movie doesn't waste any time. It starts off with Wadsworth, played by Tim Curry, coming up to this big mansion, and like he's going inside and he's preparing a big like dinner and with a bunch of guests who are invited. The other two in the house is the maid, played by Colleen Camp. Her name is Yvette. And then there's the cook, who's also there preparing the dinner. And so the first guest arrives, and it's Colonel Mustard. Although that's not really his name, that's the name that was given to him. And so each of the guests that arrive for the evening have different names. And the second guest to arrive is Mrs. White, played by Madeline Kahn.
May I introduce you? Mrs. White, this is Yvette, the maid. I see you know each other.
Next two characters, we see Miss Scarlet, played by Leslie Ann Warren. She's on her way to the dinner, but her car breaks down, so she's hitching a ride, and whoever picks her up is Professor Plum, played by Christopher Lloyd, and they reveal to each other that they're going to the same place. And finally, Mr. Green, played by Michael McKean, and Mrs. Peacock is the last to show up, played by Eileen Brennan. So everyone's there, but they don't know why they're there.
Of course, since you've each been addressed by a pseudonym, you'll have realized that nobody here is being addressed by their real name. Dinner.
So dinner is ready, so they all take a seat. And it's a little awkward at first because they, no one knows each other. So Mrs. Peacock decides to break the ice.
Well, someone's got to break the ice, and it might as well be me. I mean, I'm used to being a hostess. It's part of my husband's work, and it's always difficult when a group of new friends meet together for the first time to get acquainted. So I'm perfectly prepared to start the ball rolling. I mean, I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here, or what I'm doing here, or what this place is about, but I am determined to enjoy myself, and I'm very intrigued, and oh my, this soup's delicious, isn't it?
Mrs. Peacock is a chatty Cathy, but it's also revealed that her husband is a politician. And it's also later revealed that everybody either has a government job of some kind or lives in Washington, D.C., or does some kind of business in Washington. And just then the seventh guest arrives, and it's Mr. Body. And after everybody demands to know why they're there, Wadsworth opens up an envelope, and he reveals to everybody they're all there because they're all being blackmailed. For example, Colonel Mustard was a client of Miss Scarlet. There's photographs. Miss White was paying a blackmailer to avoid a scandal because multiple husbands have died. Mr. Green revealed that he's gay, which was pretty scandalous for back then. So after everybody's reveal, they want to know why Mr. Body is there. And so Wadsworth tells them, well, Mr. Body's the one that's blackmailing you.
What did he do?
You know what doctors aren't allowed to do with their lady patients?
Yeah?
Well, he did.
And for delivering your husband's Senator Peacock's vote to certain lobbyists.
My husband is a paid consultant. There is nothing wrong with that.
Not if it's publicly declared, perhaps. But if the payment is delivered by slipping used greenbacks in plain envelopes under the door of the men's room, how would you describe that transaction?
I'd say it stinks.
I am willing to believe you. I, too, am being blackmailed for something I didn't do.
Me too. And me.
Not me.
You're not being blackmailed?
Oh, I'm being blackmailed, all right. But I did what I'm being blackmailed for.
What did you do?
Well, to be perfectly frank, I run a specialized hotel and a telephone service which provide gentlemen with the company of a young lady for a short while.
Oh, yeah? What's the phone number?
By the way, while all this is going on, Yvette is in the next room listening to a recording. So after everybody's panicking, Mr. Body actually has a deal to make with all of them. So he goes in the hallway and comes back with a bag full of gifts, and he gives one to each of them. So they all open their presents to see what's inside. Scarlet gets a candlestick, White gets a rope, Mustard gets a wrench, Mr. Green gets a lead pipe, and Mrs. Peacock gets a knife, and Professor Plum gets a gun. So Mr. Body's plan is to convince one of them to kill Wadsworth, and then the blackmails will stop. So he's going to turn out the lights and see which one of them does it. Once those lights turn off, you could hear a couple of like thuds, like, a couple of them dropped their weapons, but then the gun goes off. They turn the lights back on, and Mr. Body is on the floor. And so like they go up to him, and then Professor Plum's just like, stay back, and he checks like his pulse, and he says that he's dead. And since he's the one that opened the gun, they were all accusing him of shooting it. He claims that somebody tried to take it from him when the lights went out. They didn't see any bullet holes. They did see the bullet hole on the wall. And so Miss Peacock's just like, oh my God, I need a drink. And so she starts to take a drink. And Professor Plum's just like, maybe he was poisoned. And so she's like, goes hysterical. And so like Mr. Green's trying to like sit her down and calm her down. And she won't stop screaming. And so finally he like slaps her across the face. And he's just like, well, I had to stop her screaming. And then shortly after that, they hear Yvette screaming. So they all race over to where she was at the billiard room. And so she like, is scared because she's like, there's a murderer in this house. And they were like, well, who? Like, are they in this room? And she's just like, yeah, it's one of you. But she said that she was also screaming because she also like drank the same thing Miss Peacock drank. So she was like afraid that she got poisoned, but she's fine. And so they all go back to the study to try to figure all this out.
He hated my wife for the same reason that he hated all of you. He believed that you were all thoroughly un-American. Sorry. For some reason, he felt that it was inappropriate for a senator to have a corrupt wife, for a doctor to take advantage of his patients, for a wife to emasculate her husband, and so forth. But this is ridiculous. If he was such a patriotic American, why didn't he just report us to the authorities? He decided to put his information to good use and make a little money out of it. What could be more American than that?
So they're all trying to play the blame game on Mr. Body. But then they all collectively realize that the cook is there too. So they all race to the kitchen. But then they discover that the cook was murdered. And how she was murdered? With a knife in her back. So they all drag her back to the study. But then they all discover that Mr. Body's body is missing. They're all fighting again. And then just then Miss Peacock wanted to excuse herself to the restroom. So when she goes to the bathroom, there's Mr. Body, and it looks like he just kind of like, fell like onto her. And so she's like screaming, and of course they're all like, run to her. They're like, oh, Mr. Body's attacking her. But, it's later revealed that Mr. Body is like dead, like again. So Wadsworth suggests like, let's collect all the weapons and lock them in this cupboard. So he's like, putting everything away, and he has like this little key that he put in his pocket. So they're asking, they're like, well, why do you get to keep the key? And he's just like, well, if I have it, I know I'm safe. And so, then he suggests, well, I'll just throw it away. And so they like run up to the front door.
Sorry, the car broke down out here, and I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Just a moment, please. Very well, sir. Would you care to come in?
Well, where is it?
What, the body?
The phone. What body?
But there's no body. Nobody. There's nobody in the study. No. But I think there's a phone in the lounge.
Thank you.
So he takes the motorist to the lounge to use the phone, but he locks him into the room. So then they get together to try to figure out like what to do. And so Colonel Mustard suggests that they all split up in pairs and like search the entire house. But Mrs. Peacock is freaking out.
Let him stay in the house. He may get suspicious.
If we throw him out, he may get even more suspicious. If I were him, I'd be suspicious already.
Oh, who cares? That guy doesn't matter. Let him stay locked up for another half an hour. The police will be here by then, and there are 2 dead bodies in the study.
Wait a minute. Suppose that one of us is the murderer. If we split up into pairs, whichever one of us is left with the killer might get killed. Then we would have discovered who the murderer is.
But the other half of the pair would be dead.
This is war, Peacock. Casualties are inevitable. You cannot make an omelet without breaking eggs. Every cook will tell you that.
But look what happened to the cook.
So they draw from matchsticks, and the pairs who end up together is Yvette and Mr. Green, Miss Peacock and Professor Plum, Miss Scarlet and Colonel Mustard, and Mrs. White and Wadsworth. And Yvette, Mr. Green, they're up in the attic, and then Scarlet and Mustard, they're checking like the main parts of the house, and White and Wadsworth are checking bedrooms, and then Peacock and Plum are checking the cellar. During one of Mustard's discoveries, he discovers a secret passage, and so they follow it and end up into the lounge, and they see the motorist, and the motorist has been murdered. So they freak out, they're screaming, they're trying to like get out of the room, but it's, you know, they're locked in, so everybody's trying to like get the door open. Yvette has an idea, so she runs and gets the gun because the cupboard has been opened, and so she starts making her shots.
I've been shot. I've been shot.
Come out, the door is open.
Why are you shooting that thing at us?
To get you out.
You know you could have killed us. I could have been killed. I can't take any more scares.
Just then the doorbell rings again, and this time it's a cop, and so everybody's already like on edge and acting suspicious, but the cop wants to know if the motorist stopped by at this place because he discovered a broke down car just down the street, and so he's just checking things out. And so they lead him into like one of the rooms that doesn't have either a body or something crazy going on. So Wadsworth takes him to the library, but then a little bit after the phone rings and the cop just goes ahead and answers it, and it's J. Edgar Hoover. And so he's like trying to like, you know, ask like, hey, J. Edgar Hoover's like on the phone, like why are they calling here? And so while Wadsworth takes the call, he wants to know what's going on in the house because everybody's acting all suspicious. And so they get Mr. Green to like show him around a little bit while the others try to make it look less suspicious.
Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom, and up we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream. If I could take you up in paradise above. If you would tell me I'm...
This man's drunk. Dead drunk.
Dead right.
You're not gonna drive home, are you?
He won't be driving home, officer, I promise you that.
No.
Somebody will give him a lift, huh?
Oh, we'll get him a car.
A long black car.
A limousine. Oh!
After Wadsworth gets off the phone, he runs into the cop, and so like the cop's assuring him like, hey, there's nothing wrong about anything that's going on here. But of course Wadsworth doesn't know what everybody else did, so he's like, are you sure? The cop's like, yeah, I'm sure, it's a free country. But the cop does still need to use the phone, so he takes him back to the library and locks him in there again. So everyone continues their search. They pair up again and search around the house, and eventually the power goes out. During this time, 3 more murders occur. First, we see Yvette running downstairs, and she ends up in one of the rooms, and someone whispers to her, did anyone recognize her? And she said that yes, and she's eventually choked out by a rope. Next victim is the cop. Someone sneaks up behind him with the lead pipe and strikes him. And then finally, the doorbell rings, and it's a singing telegram girl.
Da-da-da-da-da. I am your singing telegram.
Everyone heard the gunshot, so they all go downstairs together to see, who it was. So the first victim is Yvette, but they could care less that she's gone. And then the second one is the cop, and then they discovered the girl at the front door. And so they all gathered the bodies in the same room. So tonight's murder total is 6. And then suddenly Wadsworth tells them oh, I know who did it. And then Tim Curry gives the most detailed, energetic, crazy explanation, step by step of every event that happened tonight.
Next, Mrs. Peacock took a drink. You said, maybe it's poisoned. She screamed. Mr. Green. I had to stop her screaming. Then more screaming. Yvette, the billiard room. We all rushed out. But one of us wasn't here. No.
Wadsworth then explains that everybody was there for a reason, and he actually invited the motorist because he was involved in some way. And so Mustard confesses that he used to be his driver during the war. And the cop was there for a reason, and Miss Scarlet revealed that she would pay him so she could carry on with business. And Yvette was also working for Scarlet. And the cook used to be Mrs. Peacock's cook. The girl at the front door was Professor Plum's patient that he had an affair with. And Mrs. White hated Yvette because she slept with her husband. So the only one that didn't have any kind of motive was Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, who shot the singing telegram. I didn't do it. Well, there's nobody else left. But I didn't do it. The gun is missing. Whoever's got the gun shot the girl. I shot her.
I was going to expose you. I know. So I choose to expose myself.
Please, there are ladies present.
You thought Mr. Body was dead, but why? None of you even met him till tonight.
You're Mr. Body. Wait a minute. So who did I kill?
My butler.
Oh, shucks.
He suggests if they just stack the bodies, and leave one by one, then no one's ever going to find out. But then Mr. Green, another big twist in the end, he's actually FBI. And so, he knew all about this. And so he finally, shot Mr. Body, and, everything's, A-okay. But, this ending is actually one of 3 alternate endings. In theaters, they would play a random ending. The first ending, it was Miss Scarlet who did all the murders. The second one, it was Miss Peacock who did all of them. And I'm actually personally a fan of the Miss Scarlet one because, if you watched this movie, it does make sense. But I just explained the third ending where each one of them killed somebody. But yeah, I loved this movie. I still love it today. I know I keep saying that with a lot of stuff, but this was pure nostalgia for me. I watched it all the time growing up, and I just love it. It just cracks me up. It's also another one of those movies that it's hard to talk about because every scene is a great scene. So I know I left out so much. I probably didn't explain a few things right, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of this movie. What did I leave out? What was your favorite scene? Let me know.
Miss Scarlet, I do have a secret or two.
Oh yeah, such as?
The game's up, Scarlet. There are no more bullets left in that gun.
Come on, you're not gonna fall for that old trick.
It's not a trick. There was 1 shot at Mr. Body in the study, 2 for the chandelier, 2 at the lounge door, and 1 for the singing telegram.
That's not 6.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
There was only 1 shot that got the chandelier. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Even if you were right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Okay, fine. 1 plus 2 plus 1. Shut up!